What you see all over the West, and it's kind of crazy, is this idea that the way to generate prosperity is to bring in millions and millions of unvetted people and drop them into your neighborhoods, and we simply reject that idea. So to everybody in the UK who rejects that idea, I'd encourage them to just keep on going. It's okay to want to defend your culture. It's okay to want to live in a safe neighborhood. It's okay to want your job to go to yourself and your neighbors and not to a stranger who you don't even know. It is reasonable for the people in Western societies to want to control who comes into their country and who doesn't. A lot of people, frankly, a lot of people in the media have tried to persuade all of those people that it's somehow racist to want to protect your borders.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So the Unite the Kingdom rally, whatever you want to call it, was a roaring success from what I'm seeing. And it was peaceful protesting. It was people coming together, celebrating the UK, celebrating their country. And there were people there of all different races. Even though those who attended were portrayed as far-right, Nazi, fascists, whatever you want to, whatever terminology you want to use, they were portrayed in a very negative light, simply for walking around holding British flags. These people were portrayed as a bunch of racists. Now, there have been far-right groups who use the British flag as a symbol for whatever they were trying to achieve. And I guess that's ever since then, people have associated holding your flag and being proud of your country as far-right and racist. The people who came together, from what I've heard, were speeches I've seen that have been posted online. It was people coming together saying that we need to protect our borders, people coming together saying we need to protect our young girls, many of whom were victims to grooming gangs. They need justice. And it was people coming together saying it's okay to be proud of your country, it's okay to be patriotic.
I'm here because I want to show that there are young women out here that think the same way that I do, that want to protect women's rights.
How do you feel about Kier Starmer?
He's
From Nottingham, and I stand for this cross, which is Christianity, and I stand for togetherness, and I stand for British values, because I'm British, and this belongs to the people that I hear, that have pushed into this, paid into the system, and didn't come over illegal. My mum and dad are from Jamaica, and guess what? They had a passport because they came through the front door. Didn't come on a bloody boat. They came in the front door, filled in the application form the right way, and worked since 1959. My mum and dad speak English and they integrate. British forever, United Kingdom. Yes, it is. British and proud. Black and proud. And black, British and proud.
Huge. Thousands of British marched towards Parliament Square for the Unite the Kingdom rally organised by Tommy Robinson. UK citizens demand mass deportations and to take their country and culture back. They demand an end to being arrested for social media posts.
So well done to Tommy Robinson, all of the organisers and everybody. It was just amazing. I will say this though. The British people deserve an apology, a public apology from Kier Starmer, the Prime Minister of this country, because he released a video that basically said all of the organisers, all of the people at Unite the Kingdom are far right, are causing division, are fueled by hate. And what he did by doing that, not only did he defame all of us that were involved and everybody that attended, all of the British people that attended or were part of it, those millions of people, he also weaponized everybody else in the public of this nation against those that went to the Unite the Kingdom. And with that type of dangerous rhetoric that he used, just by walking down the street with a Union flag, the flag of this nation, the British flag, you had a potential of getting attacked. So he created a very toxic and dangerous environment for all of those millions of patriotic Brits that were part of Unite the Kingdom. Now remember, he did the same thing after Southport when he weaponized anybody protesting the illegal migrant hotels, and then we saw videos of gangs of Muslim men attacking British patriots who were out on the streets after protesting. Why? Because Kier Starmer weaponized them. So it's very dangerous rhetoric, and he needs to come out and give a public apology. That would be the right thing to do. Would we expect him to do that though? Of course not. It seems that when it comes to these situations, he has no accountability, he has no shame, and that's what we've come to expect. So it is what it is. On to the next one. We don't stop here. We keep going. And, you know, thank you again, Tommy and the team. Fantastic. Thank you to all you brilliant, beautiful patriots.
So that's Ricky Dooland. Said my better and more beautiful half is with me to unite the kingdom today. Are we the far-right, hate-filled dividers you were talking about? Never forget, Kier Starmer knelt for George Floyd, but has stood by as UK rapes exploded to 74,000 plus offences last year alone. Britain has had enough. Hundreds of thousands are standing up today for Unite the Kingdom. And thankfully, you know, these were peaceful protests, but the words that Kier Starmer used, the way these people were portrayed, they're the ones who should have been concerned about their safety. Walking around with a British flag, that in itself could have been a risk because you would have been accosted by people calling you all sorts of slurs. You would have been accosted by people, you know, who may have attempted to be violent towards you because they see you as a threat. So the reality is completely different from how it was portrayed through the media and even how the Prime Minister portrayed it.
I'm an ex-military. I was in the RAF for 12 years. I served my country. I'm very proud of my flag. I wear my flag proudly because I was born here in this country, and my parents came over in the 60s and worked hard. They contributed to the economy, and they bought a house and they moved into the suburbs, and it was fantastic. I was born in Whitechapel, yeah, and I wouldn't recognise it now at all. At all. And we moved up to Lincolnshire in the countryside because I'm very horsey, and at the end of the day, this is a Christian country, and this country is just, they've got nowhere else to go. And if all these people come in, and take over the culture, it's not going to be Britain anymore. It's not going to be Great Britain anymore, and we can't have that. And it's not a racist thing. I'm not a racist. You can't call me a racist. But at the end of the day, we have to fight for what it's a spiritual battle, though, guys. This is the thing. We have to come back to Christ. Christ is King, and we must come back to Christ because at the end of the day, we are a Christian nation.
Kelly J. Keane said, "What an incredible day. Thank you, Tommy Robinson. Unite the kingdom." And Nick Shirley flew over there to join them.
Now your media will call you far right, and your prime minister will call you guys dangerous. But the ideas of freedom of speech are not dangerous, or the idea that you want to know who your neighbor is does not make you dangerous. It means that you have common sense.
So I wanted to react to an exchange between Based and Bougie, an influencer who's very supportive of Tommy Robinson and gave a speech at Unite the Kingdom.
Speaking of free Palestine, where was that energy for Iran? Where was that energy for the Nigerians who have been massacred? Where was that energy for the genocide that's currently happening in the UK, where we are seeing the English being demographically replaced?
And she was on Piers Morgan, uncensored. And to me, Piers appears to have lost his mind. He really does. He seems to have subscribed to the, if you were there, then you were far right and, racist and all these things. That's what he appears to have subscribed to, this belief that people who hold up British flags and, are patriotic, it's somehow something that deserves to be demonized.
I was happy to be among the crowd of the Unite the Kingdom march. I found it very enjoyable.
Did you feel you were amongst like-minded souls there, Jonathan?
I felt that I was amongst patriots. I mean, they are... Yeah, I saw a lot of British patriots. I saw a lot of people who were marching with their own flags and being proud and happy to live in a free, democratic society.
And when you saw one of the speakers do this, Kelly Jean King, let's look at this.
It's not too
feel comfortable now? Now you've seen that? That's one of the speakers at the event.
Well, she didn't say Muslims, did she? She said specifically said Islam. And I think there's a very big difference here. Had she said Muslims, as in people with beliefs, I would have had
What
an
if she
issue.
said Jews or people who practice Judaism?
Well, she didn't say Jews, or she didn't say people.
You're splitting hairs, Jonathan.
No,
We should not have sympathy for it, and at the same time...
Nobody said that! What are you talking about?
Have sympathy for what's going on with
Nobody said that!
I guess Piers wasn't ready for the speech that she gave. He wasn't ready. And apparently, as soon as she walked in there, he just had already made up his mind that he was going to give her a hard time. That's what it seemed like to me. She said that he wasn't very friendly. He was rude to his staff, allegedly, and very standoffish with her from the onset. And then we had Miss Ava on the panel, who ended up walking off because I guess the questions that Based and Bougie was asking her were too much for her to handle. So she ends up walking off. And this is the woman who claims to be a feminist.
Do you have sympathy?
What are you doing?
Do you have sympathy for the young English girls that have been assaulted? Do you have sympathy?
Sorry.
So now you're stuttering. Now you're stuttering.
No, I have
So you've just exposed yourself.
Do you know
for not
what?
having
I have a
sympathy.
no stupid people rule on panel members for this show. And sometimes we drop below it. The way you started this panel and the way you've ended it suggests that you shouldn't have passed our bar because, frankly, you've been not only stupid and ill-informed and told a bunch of lies, but then right at the end you've driven one of our regular panel members to leave because you told disgusting lies. What is the Union Jack, do you think?
For me, the Union Jack is a sign of first.
No, what is it? Well, whose flag is the Union Jack?
The British flag. The British flag.
You said English flag there.
The English, no. The Union Jack is the British flag.
Why did you say English flag?
Obviously, when you're under pressure, you end up saying things, but it is the British.
You don't think England is United Kingdom?
No, I'm just saying that it's
The Union
British
Jack
flag.
obviously represents.
I know the difference between the two, but what we're discussing here
What is the
today
English flag? Do you know?
is this flag with the red cross.
Right. So, but that wasn't the one behind you, and that wasn't the one you were talking about.
Okay, congratulations, you caught me here.
Well, no, I'm not trying to take gotcha. I'm just saying if you're going to start.
When you're under pressure, you end up saying things.
Okay, if you're going to start haranguing
Especially when
me
there's
on...
millions of people,
Listen,
you get a little bit nervous.
Yeah, but Cynthia,
millions of people.
If you're going to start haranguing people like me for not understanding what it means to be English, it would help if you understood what the English flag actually is.
Children have been raped, and rather than people just focusing on the fact that these children have been raped, they're talking about Islamophobia, racism, and all of this.
Piers,
And white men
serious.
using the example that white men rape in this country is like saying, oh my gosh, Nigerians are raping so much in Nigerians. White men are the majority in this country, so yes, they are going to make up the statistics of men raping. But when we're talking about grooming gangs, yes, it is Asian Muslim men. We're not saying it's all men. We're not saying it's all men. What I'm trying to say is, if someone raped your daughter, you would not like someone to come to you talking about ethnicity, racism, Islamophobia. You would want someone to have compassion.
He is literally just given a statistic making that exact point.
At the end of the day,
Ava is responding to a statistic
young
which she
girls
was
are being
checking.
assaulted. What I'm trying to say is, as a woman, have some compassion. And
No,
if
I'm not going to have you dominate the narrative here as if I'm saying that rape's
young women are being assaulted, and your first yes, because you know what you're doing is disgusting.
I'm sorry.
And demonic. It's so demonic.
What is demonic? What are you talking about?
It's demonic.
You've just driven someone to leave the studio.
It's turning into the country they escaped from. You're seeing people locked up for tweets. You're seeing people in solitary confinement for a difference of opinion. And now you're seeing people like the likes of Piers Morgan calling us the same old boring far right for being patriotic. Well, I have a question for Piers Morgan. If this is a far right racist extremist event, then what the am I doing here? The establishment, Piers Morgan, Keir Starmer, need to learn that us patriots are this country's last hope. And rather than waking up to this fact, they would rather sit there and police when and where the English people wear the English flag. Let me make something very clear. If seeing the Union Jack makes you cross, respectfully, pack your bags and get lost.
So that's what it all comes down to. She called him out for demonizing British people who are patriotic, who actually want their country to succeed, who don't want their borders to be open, who don't want their freedom of speech infringed upon by the government, and who want justice for the young female victims of the grooming gangs. People who want the crime to be addressed, who want safety to be addressed. All of those things, they came together with that cause, not because they're a bunch of far-right racists. So she called him out and he couldn't handle it. So he invites her to his show, and it was like a trap. He got her where he wanted her so he could try to humiliate her. But his comment section said otherwise. People were not falling for it. He basically revealed himself, and as Based and Bougie called it, his Tommy Robinson derangement syndrome. It doesn't look like he invited her on the show in good faith. And as it was pointed out, he was using typical radical leftist tactics, trying to get a gotcha moment, deflecting from the topic that she went on the show to discuss. They could have had a real discussion about what she said during her speech. Do you think people who went there are, racists? Do you think they're far right? They could have had a real discussion about that. What happened with Ava was, again, she was asked a question that was too personal for her, obviously, because she was asked about, what if it was your daughter? Or what if it was something that affected you personally? And I think it's a fair question to ask. Would you want people talking to you about statistics, talking to you about terminology like this, using that sort of rhetoric, using that sort of language? Is that what you would be looking for? Or would you be looking for some compassion and some empathy? And these are the lives of girls that have been affected, girls that will never be the same again because of what they went through. And on top of that, many of them didn't even receive justice. So I'm glad United Kingdom was a success. I'm glad everybody came out from all different walks of life, people from immigrant backgrounds, people of different races. And I'm glad people understand that it's okay to be patriotic. It's okay to like your country, and it's okay to want to protect your culture. And of course, when you have Black people going to these events, you will find other Black people who will refer to them as the C word, which is popular here in America. But the British version of that is coconut. And we had one woman trying to humiliate Based and Bougie for going to this event.
Well, I have a question for Piers Morgan. If this is a far-right racist extremist event, then what the am I doing here?
Oh, darling, let me help you out with that. You don't need Piers Morgan for that. You see, the reason you are here is because you're doing what every other Black, far-right, racial gatekeeping, coconutting fool has been doing since time memorial. Tap dancing. See, there's nothing unique about you, girl. There's nothing new about you. We've been seeing you. There's precedent for you. All I'm going to say is this. When whatever this is you're doing for whatever it is you want it for comes to its natural expiration end, don't come running to us.
I mean, she's such a revolting human being, but how would you respond, Based?
She's ghetto. She's literally just a ghetto ratchet woman. Like, I have nothing to say towards that. Nothing she said was offensive. I know what I'm doing. What I do is because I love my country, I love Christianity, and I want this country to remain British and Christian. And whoever's offended by that, please go be offended. Like, she's just ghetto, eating biscuits with a headscarf. Like, have some class, please. So beneath me.
I don't like to feature that woman on my channel at all, but Based and Bougie's response was well worth listening to that drivel. So on that note, let me know what you thought about the Unite the Kingdom rally. Were you there? What did you think when you saw the images come through? And what were your thoughts on Kier Starmer's comments? And what do you think about the exchange between Piers Morgan and Based and Bougie? So thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and God willing, I will see you in the next video. And a huge thank you to all of those who have hyped my videos. It is greatly appreciated.